Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing and giving my opinion on the age-old question: do video games make people violent? I've done a lot of research to try to unravel this idea myself, but I seem to have caught myself on the edge of the fence. The video you are seeing is of me playing Battlefield 3 and Assassin's Creed 3. I put these in here because I think it's relevant, and it shows that I am part of the stats that I see on the internet. During my research, I saw a lot of information, some stating that violent video games cause kids to develop weird and give them evil thoughts. I have seen some news sources that state that the Columbine shootings happened because the two teens were subjected to video games. There is an article that said both peaceful and violent video games help with the progression of the developing child's brain. Both sides stated their information very well, both making strong points with facts behind them. It's obvious that video games affect adults, children, and teenagers differently, so I'd like to separate them into three different categories. Parents have always been worried about their children's behavior. Many point fingers at the violent video games and TV shows they're exposed to. Parents blame the video games for their children's lust to go play guns in the backyard, as they slay their fellow neighbors in gunfights. To those parents, my argument is, well, kids have fought with toy guns way before the first Xbox was ever produced. Heck, I ran around with my friends and played guns, and the worst game I probably played was a motocross game at the time. Before that, kids played taco football and other backyard sports that led to violence all the time. In their defense, though, there have been some small degree of children that do take violent video games very seriously, and have been known to have huge temper tantrums when their favorite video game consoles have been taken away. Some children just have minds that cling to these type of games and can get very violent due to them. As a personal experience, I babysat my neighbor's kids, who never get exposed to video games, as they spend most of their time outside. These kids are very friendly and happy children, and they never complain about when their new friends at school are walking around with new DSs. But I have dealt with some children, and even some younger teenagers that turn into silverback gorillas when told to get off their gaming consoles. For adults and older teenagers, the gaming world seems to have a less addicting and more casual type of playstyle. Some adults have their Xbox waiting for them when they get home from work, so they can casually play before dinner's ready on the table, or before they start doing their household chores. Some adults barely get to play at all, and when they do, it is a little treat that can help them get through a rough day. I don't believe that video games have an effect on adults because they get very little time on them. There was a Norwegian guy not too long ago that shot up a mall and killed multiple people. Authorities say he decided to go on this killing spree because of what he said in his interrogation. The man said that he had trained himself to be a killer by playing Call of Duty. Now all of a sudden, the video game industry is getting blamed for all those people dying. I'm going to disagree and say that it was not Call of Duty's fault, as the game didn't make him want to kill those people. The idea was already in his head, and the game was simply a tool that he used to achieve it. Lastly, I want to discuss the teenagers from grade 8 to grade 12. The gaming industry makes most of their money on this age group, and it's fair to say that most of the gamers are in this age group. Teenagers are seen as confused and misunderstanding individuals who do nothing more than complain, talk back, and fight. Many people claim that video games is the cause to such weird behavior, and that teens should not be allowed to play. If you look back in human history, teenagers have always had the appearance of looking like an adult but acting like a child. It couldn't be possible that video games are the sole reason that teens have problems in society. During a teenager's life, massive changes are beginning to happen in both physical and mental aspects. Teens tend to have mood swings and can be angry and aggressive at times. Being a teenager is also stressful from the amount of pressure teachers, counselors, and parents are placing on them, trying to prepare them for the realities of the world that they are soon to venture into. I think video games compare to some of the other things that teenagers' parents would have done in their younger days. Things to escape stress and things to escape the daily responsibilities they had. I am finished reflecting on this topic and I want to hear feedback from you guys. Tell me what you think. If you disagree, tell me why. I am looking forward to reading your input, ideas, and perspectives. Just one last little side note to help my ideas to some extent. I play a lot of video games. Probably more than what I should. But what I'm trying to say is that video games has not made me a violent person at all. I play a lot of gory games and it hasn't given me any ideas about charging into a school or mall and shooting anything that moves. If you get to know me, you can see that I'm a pretty calm person. I don't get angry easily. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Thanks for listening.
Here's the first aid kit.